Alphon.
Here.
Jim Boyle. He's on the phone. There we go, Jim. Emily Kane.
Present.
John Cleveland.
Present.
Margaret Craven.
Present.
David New Trumbull.
Present.
Stan Grosowski.
Present.
Seth Goodall.
Present.
Jeff Greco.
Present.
Ann Haskell.
Present.
Don Hill.
Here.
Troy Jackson.
Present.
Chris Johnson.
Present.
Pauline Lahovich.
Present.
Ed Mazerin.
Here.
Rebecca Millett is absent. John Patrick.
Here.
John Tuttle.
Here.
And Linda Valentino.
Here. With the here front.
The chair will now ask for nominations for the position of secretary and assistant as a team. Nominations are now in order for the slate of positions for the office of Secretary of the Senate and Assistant Secretary of the Senate for the 126th legislature. The chair recognizes Senator-elect Alphon, who asked for the purpose of making such a nomination.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I nominate Derek Grant as Secretary of the Senate and Joy O'Brien as the Assistant Secretary of the Senate, and wish to speak to my motion.
May.
I am extremely proud to talk about the slate tonight. Derek Grant, when I first met him 4 years ago, was someone that was working as a legislative aide. And I never quite understood why so many people fought as a senator to be with him. I mean, there was like this kind of like amazing kind of chorus of, oh, you want Derek when you came in. And I was like, well, of course, you know, everyone, you know, do you want Derek? And then you want Derek. So I didn't get Derek, but I did get an incredible aide my first session. But what I saw from Derek for that first session and continuing on to this day is someone that is professional, someone that takes his job incredibly seriously, someone that you don't have to ask to do something twice. He exceeds what you're asking him to do and brings projects to you to help the caucus and to help other aides. During campaign season, you didn't have to ask him where or when. He was already out there and helping somebody. He started in this legislature, in the Senate in 2001 as an intern for then President Bev Daggett. He then graduated, and where did he come back? He came right back to the state Senate, working for Joy O'Brien in 2003. Since 2003, the state Senate has been a better place, and the caucus is in better shape because of the work that Derek Grant has been doing. After the summer, Derek approached me and said, you know, I am really considering a professional move, and I'd like to hear your opinion. And I said, sure. He said, I'd like to be either the assistant secretary or the secretary, but I want a professional move. I said, Derek, that's great. You know, that's just terrific. We got to win back the majority. He's like, don't you? I know that, Justin. I'm out there working all day long. But I said, that's terrific. And after we did what most people said wasn't possible, Derek very quickly picked up the phone and said, I want this very badly. And my next phone call was to Joy O'Brien. Joy, for some of you that don't know Joy, for 27 years, Joy O'Brien, on and off, because of some minor blips in our majority status, has been either the Secretary of the Senate or one of the best legislative aides the Senate caucus has ever seen. Joy, when I called her, she said, Justin, I will do anything I can to make this caucus strong and to train the next future Secretary of the Senate so it's in a great place, not just for 2 years, but for a decade or more. Joy isn't in it to to go back into her own job. She made that perfectly clear. She actually likes to bowl. She actually likes all the babysitting she's doing for some grandchildren. She actually likes being retired. But she is back here because she wants us to be the strongest caucus that we possibly can. And she wants Derek to be the strongest secretary that he possibly can. And so I am proud to nominate this slate. I think that with this team, we know that they will be fair, they will be firm, they will make sure that we are doing parliamentary procedure at an exceptional level, which is important to the institution and important to all of us. And mostly, we know they will have our backs. And so I proudly nominate Derek Grant for Secretary of the Senate and Joy O'Brien for the Assistant Secretary.
I move that nomination cease.
We need a second. The chair recognizes Senator Hill for that purpose.
Wow.
Well, I gotta duke it out over a second, my word. They're already starting. I second the motion, and I would appreciate speaking to my motion.
May.
Thank you. I have to tell you that making this little speech for Derek Grant is like shooting myself in the foot, or maybe the head, because he has been my legislative aide, and I echo everything that Senator Justin Alfond said about him as a legislative aide. He has been terrific, and I attribute my return to the Senate in large part to him. From day one, we started incumbency protection, and he never skipped a beat with me. So personally, I thank him, and I can't say enough good things about him. But I do want to just hit on a few quick things. One, we talked about his experience in the legislature and everything he's brought to the Senate. But I think you need to know that he's a father of two, just had a little boy, has a wonderful little girl named Libby, has 2 great yellow labs, and a charming wife. So that's kind of the personal person. And then he is also very well qualified. He has a great skill set. He has been councilman here in Augusta for 2 terms. He just won his 2nd term. And you don't do that easily in this city. And that tells us how well he works with both sides of the aisle. And he's just the right person. So I have to say, he has vision. I've seen that when I work with him, and I recognize that others realize he has vision because he chairs the committee to develop the east side of the river in Augusta. And he's had wonderful ideas about that are being studied and promoted. And then lastly, I just again have to say he's been incredibly professional, incredibly dedicated, and he's just so pleasant to deal with. He's taken a lot of hits from my constituents just because they're cranky. He never seems to flinch. He's almost unflappable, and he's exactly what we need in this position. So I nominate him, a second nomination, very strongly. Thank you.
And now, I move that nomination cease.
Senator Craven has moved that nomination cease. Is there a second?
Second.
Nominations for Derek Grant as Secretary of the Senate and Joy O'Brien as Assistant Secretary of the Senate for the 126th Legislature. Those in favor say aye.
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 Those opposed say nay. The ayes have it. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
I will now open the floor